Hey Mark, I just got done watching your video. First thing off, I want to say thanks so much for doing it. I'm sure Jeannie's back there with a shovel behind you, making or asking you to do it. But I appreciate both of you so much. And I understand everything that you're saying in that video. And um, and I know, I've been through this before. I've actually, I've owned this place for next month will be 15 years. Uh, I know some people say I don't look like I'm old enough to have owned something for 15 years, but I have. Um, and, every winter, just like you said in the video there, January and February are just awful. They're always awful because, like you said, people are still paying off Christmas debts. They're not getting out much. And around here right now, the weather is so bad. They're actually saying that this is the worst winter we've had since 1977. Schools, they've not had schools since before Christmas. I mean, when they took off Christmas break before Christmas, they've still not went back to school. So, you got all these people that are not getting out of the house, that are not taking their kids to school. I've always noticed that when there's no school, your business is down. And we've not had school in over a month, well, actually about a month, right at a month. So, but anyway, like I'm saying, I know these things. I know that if we can make it till March, March and April are always your hallelujah months. That's when business starts coming back. And, for us from April till November, we boom. I mean, we do. I don't have any problem making money. That's just always surprised me why people quit having their cars worked on in the winter. But I guess you kind of already discussed that. They're out of money because of Christmas, and they're just the weather's bad. They're not driving, so they're just people that can stay home do stay home. And I know all these things, and I know I'm going to make it. Like I said, I've been through this every year. Me and my dad, I co-own the business with my dad. We talk about it all the time. We've been through it every year. This year has been one of the worst years. Actually, 2 winters ago was our worst winter. It was actually worse than this one. And I actually had to lay my head mechanic off for about 4 months. Well, about 3 months, from January to March. And then I ended up, when business, started picking back up, I hired him back. But, and I know the Lord, my dad has told me that so much, the Lord, He's never let us fall. He's let us get right to the edge of that cliff to where we think we were falling off, but He's never let me fall. And, you would think, when you've been through this as much as I have, not only with this, with other things, when you've been right to that edge and the Lord He always catches us. We think we're going to fall, but He don't let us fall. He always catches us. And, you think when you'd been through that 100 times like I have, that you would just automatically go, okay, the Lord's going to catch me on this too. He's never let me down. He can't let me down. He's perfect. But I don't know what happens to us, or just our flesh side kicks in, and we just, we get scared. We get thinking, what if it's going to be different this time? What if He wants me to fail? You get thinking, all these crazy things. And now I've got my dad. He's elderly. He's 65. No, he's older than 65. He's 67. He's 67. Sorry. I've got a 70-year-old aunt that lives with us now that has got cancer. And, my mom's 63. So I get all this pressure put on me, because I'm making, we don't have any other income ever. What we live off of is what I make, and I guess it's the devil just, starts getting you thinking about this stuff. Look, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Your family's going to be out on the cold and out on the guardrail, and you just get to thinking about that stuff. But I really appreciate you making your vid. And I know where you're coming from on all of it, even on the alignments. I used to do alignments. I actually went to hunter school. There's a guy by the name of Tony you've probably never met him, but I think he just done the eastern half of the United States. Tony Lapsa was his name. He was a guy that he had some kind of, he was like a part dwarf. Most of his body was the right size, but he had real short arms. Real cool dude. I mean, real cool dude. But I did my alignment training through Hunter, through him. And my alignment machine finally broke down, and I didn't. Around here, the roads and everything are so bad that you do an alignment on somebody's car, and 2 days later it's out again because of the roads and the potholes and the railroad tracks, and they're coming back to you wanting you to do them for free. And so anyway, I didn't want to go in debt to buy another machine, so don't do them anymore, but do everything else. Do the engine diagnostics and all the drivability stuff, and wiring problems. To be honest about it, most of the jobs that I get in my shop, I hear this every day, are jobs that they've taken to these other places in the area, and they can't fix them, and they bring them to me and say, here, I've had it to this and this and this and this, and they can't fix it. Boy, I hope you can. And after they've already spent a pile of money on it, and they don't have any left to give you to fix it, and of course then usually we end up fixing it. But that's another thing that kind of irks me too, guys out there running shops that just to be honest don't know how to work on cars. They're shade trees, and they're getting paid to work on cars, and I've talked to some of these guys before that some guys up here in Whitesburg that run a shop, and good old boys, I like them, but they're shade trees. And I asked one of them one day what the reference voltage for a PCM was. 12 volts, that's what the car runs off of, battery voltage. And, he didn't know that, reference voltage is 5 volts. Foreign, domestic, pretty much everything you run into. So anyway, you know that. But it just irked me that I'm like, this guy's out here making a living working on cars, and he didn't know what, he was doing alignment one day on a car, and I asked him about it. He didn't know what caster was. He got the caster and the setback confused. You setback where like the car had been wrecked. He was getting the caster and the setback confused, and he didn't set the caster, didn't set camber. All he did was set the toe and let it go, as they say. I know you've probably heard that one, set the toe and let it go. But it just hurt me that guys like that don't know no better can make a living at it. And I do too, most of the time, but like I'm saying, it just irks me when things get tough, and you got these guys out there, hack jobs that are getting paid the same as you are. But that's just things I have to work out, personal problems, and that I'm going to pray the Lord's going to help me with. And but anyway, I've already made this video longer than I wanted to. I'm going to try to load it up here. I'm at home eating. It's one thing about it, my home's right next to my shop, so I can walk home for lunch and eat. So, but Mark, I really do appreciate you, and thanks for everything you did, and you've really, you've given me some things to think about, and I thank you. And I'll talk to you later. Thanks.